Dr. Obawede, a medical doctor and postgraduate researcher in Monash University, Australia, joins us for more on this. Thank you for joining us. Why was the recommendation revised?
Thank you for having me, Millicent. That's a good question. So like you mentioned previously, the recommendation was that anyone above 50 years was able to receive AstraZeneca. But that recommendation was based on an initial estimated risk of blood clots of 46 per million following the first dose of AstraZeneca. However, this recommendation was revised because of the higher risk and observed severity of blood clots related to the AstraZeneca vaccine. So the observed severity in Australia in 50 to 59-year-old increased from mid-June or mid-April until now. We've seen about 60 confirmed or probable cases of blood clots that's associated with the first dose of the AstraZeneca. And this was seen in people between 50 and 59. So the risk assessment had to be revised, which led to the new recommendation that you only get AstraZeneca if you are above 60 years. But yeah, so I think the people getting above 60 years that have to get AstraZeneca, for them, it's just that the benefit of getting the vaccine, which will prevent them from getting COVID or getting severe COVID, outweighs the risk of blood clots.
Well, there is discussion ongoing as to the Delta variant, its pervasiveness in the UK, the US, Europe. Scientists say it's now 60% more transmissible than the Alpha variant. Are there any cases recorded in Australia?
Yeah, well, it's not transmissible. There are a few cases. So there was a recent outbreak in Melbourne about 2 weeks ago. And it started from supposedly a return traveler who was in hotel quarantine and all that. And yeah, he had the Delta variant. So now we have about 51 active cases in Melbourne, where some are Delta variant, some aren't. But also in Sydney, there is a Delta variant case, but the other cases in Sydney are not Delta variant. So we don't really have so many cases of the Delta variant.
How receptive are Australians to the vaccination and the different types that are being rolled out in the country?
Well, in my opinion, so since the recent outbreak in Melbourne and now in Sydney and in Brisbane, I mean, these are like major cities in Australia. So now people have been, they've started seeking to get the vaccine more, especially those that are older than 50, because majority of them were hesitant to get the vaccine before because they didn't want to get AstraZeneca. But now that, I mean, if you're less than 60, you can get the Pfizer vaccine. More people are seeking to get vaccinated. But I mean, regardless of this, only about 3.3% of the population have been fully vaccinated.
So essentially, I mean, it is work in progress with the vaccinations that are ongoing, but Australia is doing quite better than, some parts of the world. What do you think that perhaps some other countries can learn about Australia's method and its response?
Honestly, if you had asked me this question maybe 2 months ago, I would have said maybe we should learn from the snap lockdowns, or like basically how Australia is good at taking swift and concrete decisions. For example, the snap lockdown, like I mentioned, or border closure. But to be honest, I feel like at this point, everyone is tired of the border closure. So I guess at the end of the day, it's really taking swift responses and concrete decisions, really. Australia has really strived in doing that, and they've been successful at doing that, even if I wish they could open the border really soon.
All right, many thanks, Dr. Obawede. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you.